This is Joshua Hart here for Seconds Out in Manchester today. Delighted to be joined by Frank Smith. Frank, first of all, how are we doing today?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Apart from the fact it's raining, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Very happy to be here. Very delighted to be joined by yourself today. And a very big week for Matchroom. Jordan Gill, Elfa Barrett. Just talk to me about this main event. It's a thrilling fight in the super featherweight division. A great domestic fight. Just how excited are we for this weekend?
Brilliant fight. Look, it's the kind of fight both Jordan Gill and Elfa Barrett need, because whoever comes out on top in this fight goes on to some big fights. You know, Jordan Gill coming off the back of a tremendous win against Michael Conor last time out. You know, Elfa Barrett, also a good win. You know, he challenged for that world title against Rakhimov probably, 18 months ago now. Built himself back up from there. And look, like I say, this is the kind of fight both guys need to set themselves up into world title contention, because whoever comes through this has got, isn't far off from one of those opportunities.
Would you say this is a matter of winner stays on? Where would the loser go from here?
No, look, I think, as we've said, there's so much pressure on winning and losing. Both guys are going to want to go in there and win the fight on Saturday night. But at the same time, it takes people stepping up and taking fights like this. This is what the public want to see, and this is what we need to make. So it doesn't mean that the loser is out of opportunities. There's still going to be options down the road for them, and respect to them both for taking this fight at this stage of their career, because not enough people have done that and would do that.
Just turning away and looking at some big news that came out this morning. We were meant to have the purse bids for Chev Clarke versus Isaac Chamberlain, and Isaac Chamberlain has pulled out at the last hour. Obviously, he's pulled out to pursue the European title, but it's a bit of a mess about when he's pulled out with just 1 hour to go. How are the team feeling about that?
Yeah, look, it is what it is. I'm not surprised. It's just that's been around for 2 months or something now, coming up to 2 months. It's not a surprise that it was coming up, so I don't really understand why they do it today. Like with all these things, with all these pull-outs, not taking fights, it's just like make a decision earlier, because you're holding up other people's careers, on the basis of... and by the way, if he goes on and fights, I think he's talking about fighting Sislak for the European title, that's fine. But you would have known you're doing that for... it's not just this morning they woke up and gone, oh no, I think we're going to take the Sislak route. With all due respect, Isaac Chamberlain would have made a lot more money, in my opinion, for fighting Chev Clarke than he will do against Michael Sislak. With the bid we put together today, he would have made a lot more money than, look, we've been involved in a lot of these fights. But each their own. It's just a case of don't waste people's time and just do it earlier. That's all I'd say.
Is it a bit frustrating when there's all this talk on Twitter as well, and they're saying that they're going to take the fight? Chev Clarke's almost jumping on the Sky broadcast, and the lines get cut, and all of a sudden Chev Clarke will just apparently cause a load of chaos. Is it frustrating when there's all this hype being built, and then last minute they go, oh no, we want to fight Sislak and pursue the European title instead?
Yeah, but it's not, like I say again, it's not the first time we've seen it. I saw Isaac Chamberlain was only saying about the fight last week, making comments about the fight. So I don't really know. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know the reasoning behind it, apart from the fact that, well, now they want to go for the European title. So yeah, it's frustrating, but we have to move on and focus on Chev Clarke's career. We're working on plans now for him. We want him to win that British title. He's worked hard to get to this point, and we believe he deserves that opportunity. So hopefully we've got some good news for him very soon.
Do you feel Ben Shalom is going to try and push for the Vidal Riley fight now that he's free of the British title? I know he's mandatory for the European, but do you feel like Ben Shalom and BOXXER are going to try and slide their way in to get the Vidal Riley fight with Isaac Chamberlain?
Probably. They've been doing a lot of talking about it. Again, like with all these things, as I've said, it doesn't matter. Like, everyone can have a different route and have a different plan of what they want to do and say, actually, this is the route we're going to take. Just do it and don't waste people's time. That's all I'd say. That's all it really comes down to. Because I understand other people have different plans, and they may want to do the Vidal Riley fight. It's an in-house fight between them. I get that. I get that. But I think, let's see. I think I've seen Isaac's statement or Hennessy Sports statement saying they want to fight for the European title. So I guess that's next in their plans.
Anthony Joshua has come out in a recent interview and said that he plans to retire at the age of 37, turns 35 in October. Is it a worry when a fighter puts a timeline on retirement?
Sorry,
Is it a worry when a fighter puts a timeline on their retirement?
Look, I don't think so. I think, look, Anthony's always been a very sensible guy. He's got his head screwed on. Everything he does is, very methodical and planned. And I think, he's done so much in the sport, and I think it's just setting a timeline out for himself to say, right, this is what, I suppose like anyone in life, this is the way I want to do things. And you have to also respect the fact that boxing's a tough sport, and he's got, he'll want to get out of the sport at the time that's right for him. He knows what he wants to do still. He knows the fights he wants to take. He knows he wants to go for this title. All those plans are there, and it can be done within that time frame. So, fair play. So it's been a long journey. When did he go pro? 11 years ago now. It would be just over 13 years as a professional heavyweight. Heavyweight boxing's hard graft, so I can understand. But let's see. Time changes every day in heavyweight boxing.
What would be the next move for him? Obviously, Eddie has said it will be a world title next for him, but Hrgovic and Dubois seem to be set to fight for the vacant IBF on June 1st, depending on how things pan out. What would be the next fight for Anthony Joshua?
Let's see. Again, the heavyweight landscape changes daily. I saw Joseph Parker called out AJ today with one of his videos, which are always great. I think we'll have to get him in as some kind of creative advisor, because he's very good at it. There's the May 18th fight between Fury and Usyk. Could anything happen there that changes the situation? Let's see. I think we've got to see what happens on May 18th and work from there. But he wants big fights, and that's what we're focused on.
Fury has just said in the press conference a matter of minutes ago that there's 8 belts on the line for this fight with Usyk. So obviously you got the WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF, IBO. And then he said the Ring Magazine, the Lineal, and the Riyadh season belt. What do you make of him saying that there's 8 belts on the line?
Well, it's the proper undisputed now. The 8 belt undisputed. So do you not become undisputed? I suppose his Lineal undisputed Riyadh season. It's going to be fun.
Obviously, we're set to have a press conference for the 5v5 soon. Can you give us any hints as to who we may see? Obviously, we've already got a couple that we might know, but any other little teasers who we can see at the 5v5?
No, not me. I don't know. They don't involve me in the big decisions. I stay out of it, but I'm hearing some good things. If it's true, it's going to be good.
Obviously, Conor Benn, a man who's been in the press again lately, not necessarily for the best of reasons. I know there's probably a lot that you can't say due to legal reasons, but what is the next move and what are you going to be planning next for Conor?
Look, our focus is we want him to fight in the UK. He's in the top names in British boxing. He needs to be fighting in the UK, and that's going to be the focus for us. That's what we're going to push to do and make happen. And as soon as we can talk in more detail, we will. Unfortunately, right now, a lot of the information has to remain confidential, hence why none of the parties directly involved have made any comment on it. But as soon as we can talk about it, we will. But like I say, the focus right now is for us to get him back up and running in the United Kingdom.
If it's going to be another long setback until he can fight in the UK again, will you just look to try and keep active again in like America and stuff and places like that?
I think over the short term, look, we've got to look over the next few weeks, try and get something together and then make a decision from there.
And then BOXXER, obviously I know they're under a lot of fire at the moment, but they are coming off a very good show with Fabia, Wardley and Fraser Clarke in one of the best heavyweight fights we've seen in a very long time. Can you give them any credit for that type of show? Obviously I know we're not on the best of terms with them, but can you give credit where credit's due? Yeah,
of course, 100%. I've said it multiple times. It was a great show. Great event, great fight between the two guys. I'm so happy for both of them because, obviously Fraser worked with us on our security team, 10, 11, 12 years ago, and Fabio, we've promoted the majority of his fights. So I'm so happy for both those guys. Had a great night, had a great fight. And anything that's good for the sport of boxing is good for all of us, whether it's BOXXER, whether it's Top Rank, Queensbury, whoever the promoters are, it's good for the sport of boxing. It's only going to grow the sport of boxing that we're all involved in. So 100%, But at the same time, I will call out where I think things are wrong. But I'm not afraid to say, yeah, great show. And there's loads of great shows. Like I said, PBC had a great year last year, delivered some great events. Everyone does great events, and that's great for the sport of boxing, and I'll always say that.
Obviously, he came out and said that he wants to put the rematch on pay-per-view. Do you believe the fight can top a pay-per-view, or do you reckon they should just stick to having it on free-to-air Sky?
Judging by what some of the other stuff they're thinking about putting on pay-per-view, then it's bigger then. But I don't think, in reality, next that fight's pay-per-view. I do think it can be pay-per-view, by the way. I'm not saying it, but I just don't think next it's pay-per-view. Honestly, it's just my opinion. But I understand they're going to be under pressure to try and make the fight happen. It might not be able to happen without that. But yeah, my opinion is, maybe in a year's time, build it up. Look, there's also Fraser Clarke. Fabio Wardley is going to be out the ring for a while with that cut. Fraser Clarke will want to get straight back in there, I guess, in the next 3 months or 3 or 4 months. So, but I think next year that could be pay-per-view.
Frank, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for your time today. I'm sure we can catch up again very, very soon. Thank you.